Boxing is called the sweet science, but sometimes it's anything but fair. Throughout history, some of the greatest fighters walked into the ring, clearly won the fight, and still left without the victory. Tonight, we'll look at 7 of the biggest robberies in boxing history, decisions so controversial that fans are still arguing about them decades later. Today, you're going to see fights that are still called some of the biggest scandals in boxing history. Legends of the ring, Gennady Golovkin, Manny Pacquiao, Roy Jones Jr., Lennox Lewis walked out looking like winners. But the judges said otherwise. And these weren't just close decisions, these were fights that shocked the entire world and made fans scream about injustice. Some call them mistakes, others call them robberies right in the ring. And today, you'll see exactly why these fights still can't be forgotten. If you're still here, you're probably into real boxing stories. So hit that like and subscribe, because I'm just getting started, and you don't want to miss what's next. This video is AI assisted for storytelling and entertainment purposes. No disrespect intended to any fighters or judges mentioned. Now let's get back to the fights that the world still argues about. The fight between Gennady Golovkin and Saul Canelo Álvarez in 2017 became one of the most controversial bouts in modern boxing. From the very beginning, Golovkin set the tone. He calmly pressed forward, controlled the center of the ring, and never rushed, but constantly cut the distance. His jab was landing almost every round. Canelo fought more on the back foot, moving, counterpunching, but often giving ground under pressure. Mid-fight, it looked like Golovkin had full control. He appeared sharper, more consistent, and physically stronger. Canelo responded with selective bursts, especially to the body, but not enough to clearly win rounds. The key moment came in the championship rounds. Golovkin kept pressing without slowing down, while Canelo tried to steal rounds with higher activity to sway the judges. Then came the result, a draw. But that's where the controversy began. One judge scored it for Canelo, another for Golovkin, and the third had it even. For most fans and analysts, it felt like a fight where Golovkin had done more than enough to win. After the decision was announced, the reaction was explosive. Fans booed loudly, Golovkin's team was shocked, and Golovkin himself looked disappointed but controlled, like he understood the fight wasn't taken from him in the ring, but on the scorecards. This bout is still remembered as one of those fights where one fighter dominated, but the victory was taken away by the judges. And now I want to hear from you. What boxing story should I cover next? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Next on our list, the fight between Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley in 2012 became one of those bouts that people argued about for years afterward. From the very first seconds, Pacquiao looked faster, sharper, and far more dangerous. His attacks were clean, explosive, and precise. Bradley kept moving, trying to break the rhythm, but he often simply couldn't keep up with Manny's pace. Round after round, Pacquiao took control of the fight. He found his distance with ease, landed his signature left hands, and dictated the action. Bradley answered with heart and toughness, but his shots lacked the same impact and looked far less convincing. As the fight moved into the later rounds, it became clear that Pacquiao had done enough to keep his title. He looked more accurate, more composed, and simply better in most exchanges. But when it came time for the judges' scorecards, the entire arena froze. The victory was awarded to Bradley. The decision sparked immediate outrage. Many couldn't believe how a fight in which Pacquiao had clearly been the superior fighter could end like that. Even members of the boxing world openly called it a robbery. The crowd reacted instantly. Boos, disbelief, and pure shock filled the arena. Pacquiao himself stayed calm, but it was obvious he understood what had happened. He hadn't lost to his opponent, but to the scorecards outside the ring. To this day, the fight remains a perfect example of how even clear dominance doesn't always guarantee a fair result. Next on our list is Roy Jones Jr. and one of the most controversial moments in Olympic boxing history. At the 1988 Seoul Olympics, Jones faced Si-hun in the final. From the very beginning of the fight, Roy was in complete control. He was faster, more accurate, and far more aggressive, landing clean combinations over and over again. Round after round, Jones dominated. He landed significantly more clean punches, constantly broke through his opponent's defense, and left almost no doubt about who the better fighter was. Park had a few moments of resistance, but it was nowhere near enough to match Roy's level. By the final bell, everything seemed obvious. Jones had clearly outboxed his opponent and should have been walking away with Olympic gold. But then came the moment of the official decision. The judges awarded the victory to Park Si-hun. The arena froze in shock. Fans, commentators, and even some officials couldn't believe what had just happened. The fight was immediately called one of the biggest robberies in boxing history. The strangest moment came during the medal ceremony. Park himself looked uncomfortable, almost as if he knew that the gold wasn't truly his. And Jones stood there with silver around his neck, calm on the outside, but the injustice of that moment was obvious to everyone. To this day, that final remains a symbol of how judging and outside factors can overshadow greatness inside the ring. But but this case is special, and you'll find out why at the end of the video. The next one on our list is Lennox Lewis, and one of the most controversial heavyweight title decisions ever. In 1999, Lewis stepped into the ring to face Evander Holyfield in a fight to crown the undisputed heavyweight champion. It was supposed to settle once and for all who was the best heavyweight in the world. From the opening rounds, Lewis established control. He used his long jab to keep Holyfield at distance, dictated the pace, and consistently landed the cleaner punches. Every time Holyfield tried to close the gap, Lewis met him with sharp combinations and excellent footwork. As the fight went on, the difference became even more noticeable. Lewis wasn't just throwing more punches, he was landing the shots that mattered. Holyfield had a few strong moments, especially when he tried to pressure Lewis, but they were too brief to change the overall picture of the fight. By the championship rounds, Lewis still looked like the man in command. He stayed disciplined, controlled the center of the ring, and avoided unnecessary risks while continuing to outbox the defending champion. When the final bell rang, most people expected only one outcome. Then came the scorecards. The fight was ruled a draw. The reaction was immediate. Fans inside the arena erupted in boos, commentators were left speechless, and boxing experts around the world struggled to understand how Lewis hadn't been awarded the victory. Many believed he had clearly done enough to become the undisputed heavyweight champion that night. Even Holyfield later admitted that he thought Lewis had won the fight. To this day, that decision is remembered as one of boxing's greatest judging controversies. Fortunately, the story didn't end there, but what happened next is a story for another time. Now let's go back to the fight between Roy Jones Jr. and Park Si-hun. More than 35 years had passed. It seemed like this story had long been left in the past. But then something happened that almost no one expected. Park Si-hun traveled to the United States to meet Roy Jones Jr. in person. In his hands was the very same Olympic gold medal he had received after one of the most controversial finals in boxing history. During their meeting, Park said that the medal had never truly belonged to him. He admitted that Roy Jones was the real winner that night, and because of that, he decided to give the gold medal to the man who had earned it back in 1988. For Jones, it was an incredibly emotional moment. After waiting for more than 3 decades, he finally received the symbol of justice that had been taken away from him on Olympic night. Officially, Olympic history has not changed. Park Si-hun is still listed as the gold medalist, but in the eyes of boxing fans, and even in Park's own eyes, the true champion of that final will always be Roy Jones Jr. Sometimes justice doesn't come right away, but when it finally does, it means more than any judge's scorecard ever could. All of these fights have one thing in common. The better fighter didn't always get what he deserved. Some lost a championship belt, some lost Olympic gold, and others lost their rightful place in history. But time has a way of setting the record straight. Today, people remember the performances inside the ring, not the judges' scorecards. These fights remind us that in boxing, you can beat your opponent and still lose on paper. That's why they continue to be remembered as some of the greatest robberies in the history of the sport. Which fight do you think was the biggest robbery? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinion.